Welcome to a team selection video for Game Week 30. Now, the international break is almost over, and thank God for that, because a lot of it has just been boring, and the only qualifiers I was actually excited for got cancelled, but it is what it is, and it's actually been a good chance to reflect and also to just kind of discharge and forget about FPL, put everything on pause and on hold. But now I'm going to resume my plans and kind of my thoughts going into Game Week 30 and beyond. Very important because it is the end of the season and this is where we can start to get to the ranks that we want to be in. And yeah, 61 points for this Game Week 29. Have 1,853 points overall, and my overall rank went from around 154k to 112, and the aim is, with the triple captaincy and second wildcard still yet to be played, to break into that top 100k, kind of maintain that position and keep on building upwards and beat my overall rank from last season, which was 68k, so hopefully we can do that. And yeah, you look at Game Week 29, pretty mixed bag, but I am happy with the overall points considering everything. Martinez in goal. Only 1 point, but I mean, I kept on saying this despite obviously having him and him being so good this season. I just didn't see him getting a clean sheet or getting points against Spurs, and Villa were just toothless once again without Grealish, but he should be back now for that next game against Fulham, so Aston Villa as a whole should improve. And Matty Cash, obviously, he did come back for that Spurs game, but he gave away the penalty. But yeah, it is what it is. Martinez, 1 point, and it is what it is. Dunk with the clean sheet. But then you look at the likes of Veltman, who did outperform him. But yeah, Lewis Dunk did very well for me over the last 2 weeks. He got 10 points against Southampton and he got 6 points against Newcastle. So can't really ask for too much else. He repaid me and my faith in taking that -4. And in the end, yeah, it paid off and I'm very happy with that. Cancelo, obviously, I wasn't able to field 11 players, which is unfortunate. Dallas got 2 points. Yeah, with him, I wasn't expecting a clean sheet, but maybe he could get an attack in return. Unfortunately, he got neither, but still, Dallas has done well for me in recent times, especially in Game Week 24, although that was some time ago now. Then you look at my midfield now. Very mixed bag. You look at Son and Bale, Son obviously being injured, and Gareth Bale not even starting, which was a big blow. But Rafinha, brought him in, and got 8 points, and very happy with him. And Game Week 30, this fixture against Sheffield United is the one I really wanted him for. So hopefully he can do very well there. And he's actually a captaincy option. Very, very serious. You can't just undermine him because he's, 5.5 million or whatever. He's actually a very good option. And if you want to go a bit different, everyone's going to be captaining Bruno or Kane. I think Rafinha is a standout option. So keep an eye on him. But very happy with his performance. And yeah, he's been one of Leeds' best players this season, no doubt about it. And then Lingard, I mean, that Arsenal-West Ham game, I haven't had a chance to talk about it yet, but what a game that was. And I highlighted it. I mean, it's kind of obvious, it's not me being a genius or anything, but that game just looked on paper to be the best. But I did not expect it to be a 3-3 thriller where either team really could have won it. West Ham in the first 40 minutes completely dominated the game. But then after that, they just wanted to defend that lead, which is understandable, but they just gave Arsenal too much respect, and then Arsenal completely dominated the rest of the game. And Lingard, I mean, what a goal that was. I mean, even if you don't like the guy, I mean, I don't especially like him, but he did very well. I mean, what a goal that was. Also got the assist. Arsenal were caught off guard, and it's good play by him. Obviously, you could point towards maybe Lewis Dunk against West Brom. Why was that allowed, or why was this not allowed? There's no consistency, but Arsenal were just completely switched off, and Lingard deserved those points, and in the end didn't get the full bonus points, but he was on for it at one point. But yeah, Lingard was probably the main difference between an average week and a pretty decent one in my book. But yeah, did very, very well there, and I actually was considering captaining him or vice-captaining him. In the end, I did neither, but it doesn't really matter. Kane captaincy, I have to admit, very, very boring and a bit lucky. The penalty was a bit kind of dubious, you could say, but probably still a penalty. He got it and he took it in the end, and yeah, Kane got the points. I mean, pretty happy with the points, but I have to admit, looking at and reflecting on my season so far, despite Kane captaincy working this time round, maybe what I should be doing more often is kind of looking outside of the obvious picks, because just because they're obvious or no-brainers, it doesn't mean they're going to actually pay off with the points you want. Sometimes going a bit different, not just for the sake of being different, but with an actual thought and a plan behind it. I think that might be the way to go. But yeah, I have to admit, Kane captaincy was very, very boring. Antonio did very well, and that yellow card he got towards the end of the game, it took him from 10 points to 7. So a big swing there, but still very well. And yeah, it's a tough fixture, but Antonio keeps on delivering. He's got Wolves next. I've got a conundrum, and I will be discussing that very shortly. And Antonio is one of those players. I just don't know if I should start him or not. And then Bamford, 11 points. There was obviously the kind of doubts about him starting the game, and he was feeling something during the game. In the end, he got the points and then got substituted off. Should be fine for game week 30, but yeah, what a performance. And I know a lot of people captained him despite obviously the injury doubts and stuff like that, and fair play. Very good captaincy choice, and yeah, definitely better than Kane. Got more points and also much lower captaincy percentage. But yeah, Bamford, very happy with him. And what I will say about Game Week 29 is I'm happy with the points I got, considering the fact that I basically had 8 players. The plan was always to have at least 9 or 10. But when you have Bale, who's kind of in and out of the team, then you have Son getting injured the week prior. Sometimes all this planning from weeks beforehand, it's not going to prepare you that well. There's always going to be something that pops up. And unfortunately, I had a few things like that. But still, very happy to get the points I did, considering some of these external factors. But moving on to Game Week 30, finally we can stop talking about Game Week 29. It's in the past, it's done. This is how my team's looking for Game Week 30. And it's actually looking very strong. And I have a few plans in terms of players I want, but I'm mainly saving that for my wildcard, which as of now, I'm still thinking of playing in Game Week 31. We'll have to wait and see what happens there. And I'll be discussing some of the players that I could bring in this week, although it's not a necessity. And obviously you'll see with my bench why I literally don't need to make a transfer. But Martinez in goal, Fulham at home. I'll be honest, it might look very easy on paper, and he did keep a clean sheet there last time, but I just don't really have that much confidence in Aston Villa at the moment. I think they will win the game, but I'm not entirely sure that they'll keep a clean sheet and Martinez will get the points that we want. But he is there nonetheless. The other option I have is Pope away to Southampton, but I'm not entirely sure about that. Then you look at my defence, and this is where I'm kind of torn. So Leeds United, out of all the defenders I have, Leeds are the worst defensively. But it would make no sense to play Dunk, who plays Man United, by the way, over Dallas. Dallas has Sheffield United at home, and although there was a significant improvement in the FA Cup from Sheffield United against Chelsea, it's still not enough to kind of put me off Leeds United assets. But maybe the kind of obvious play here is to play Stones and double City defence against Leicester and put Dallas on the bench, but I don't feel right about benching a Leeds United player ahead of Sheffield United. Cancelo or Stones, it's kind of anything can happen there. One of them could get a goal or an assist and get the bonus points. But yeah, at the moment I've gone for Cancelo, although maybe just Stones, with the amount of points he's got this season when he actually plays, maybe it is a bit foolish to bench him. Then I've got Luca Digne, who did get an assist in their 2-1 win earlier this season at Selhurst Park. But yeah, not entirely sure about Everton defence. I do think Palace could score a goal or two there, but with Digne, he's got that attacking potential. And I'm not that convinced or that sure about double City defence against Leicester, I'll be completely honest. And then Dunk is completely out of the equation. He's not going to be starting. Third bench is pretty much locked in. But then the rest of my team, this is where it kind of gets a bit trickier. So you look at my midfield, and it looks very strong. I've got the 2 Spurs players against Newcastle away. Son should be back there, although there's no guarantee. But Gareth Bale's such a conundrum, isn't he? Especially this season. And the comments he's making during this international break. Now, I know he doesn't mean to be disrespectful to Spurs and to Jose Mourinho, but the comments have been taken that way by a lot of fans, and maybe Jose Mourinho will take it that way himself. So I'm not entirely sure if Bale will start this game, and even before those disrespectful comments, he didn't play against Aston Villa, and he came on as a substitute, I believe, in their 3-0 loss in the Europa League. So I don't think Bale's completely in Mourinho's good books, but the hope here is that he either starts and does very well, or he's benched and doesn't come on, and then that enables the likes of Antonio or Stones to come in. So I'm not entirely sure about starting Bale, to be honest, and having triple Spurs. And obviously one possibility is captaining Kane, but having him and then the 2 other Spurs players, it does seem a bit overkill, but it was always going to be a short-term move. On a wild card, I definitely won't be having triple Spurs, I can assure you of that. But then you look at the rest of my midfield, you've got Lingard away to Wolves, and I'll be honest, I would rather have Lingard than Antonio, but the reason why on a wildcard I might go the opposite way is because there are fewer options up front. So with Antonio, he's kind of one of the more standout ones. With Lingard, despite how good he has been, he is overperforming his expected goals, unexpected assists, and there are so many options elsewhere that aren't even in this team on screen. So that's kind of something to think about. Then Rafinha, I already discussed him. He's a great captaincy option this week. So is Bamford. Why not? So yeah, hopefully the captaincy is a bit more spread this week. It should be, with the likes of Bruno coming into play. But I'll be honest, I'm not entirely settled on it. You got Bamford up front. He could actually be my captain in the end, who knows? And Kane, another one. And against Newcastle away, you see some goals there for Harry Kane and Son if they do play, and Bale even. But I'm looking at my bench, and I'll be honest, if I had a bench boost available, I would actually consider playing it now. And what I would do if I had my bench boost available is move Dunk for Rudiger or maybe on Marcos Alonso and then bench boost that team, because it actually looks very, very good and could get 20 plus points easily. And hopefully it doesn't, because that would be very frustrating. But I did have the captaincy on Kane, and at the moment I do have it on Bruno Fernandes, and in 2 appearances against Brighton he's got 2 double-digit returns. Obviously, it doesn't always play out like that. And if you remember the last game, Bruno was very lucky, and United were, to win that game. And for Bruno to get a penalty after the whistle was blown, that was a crazy game, wasn't it? But we'll have to wait and see. Brighton are very, very good defensively, but Manchester United, they just have it in them to unlock any defence in the league. So it's going to be an interesting one. In the end, I think in terms of captaincy, I'll be sticking to either one of the Leeds players, Rafinha or Bamford. And if not, I'll kind of go template, not meaning to, but just because I think it's the best option with either Harry Kane or Bruno Fernandes. And as I discussed with my bench before, it's kind of a question between Bale, Antonio and Stones to start. So let me know what you think about that conundrum down in the comment section below. And if you have any of those sort of kind of questions or kind of team selection headaches, then feel free to let me know. And not only me, but also the rest of the community will answer your question and hopefully give you a better perspective, and will give you just the best option to maximize those points in Game Week 30. But yeah, with Game Week 31, I'll be discussing my wildcard team and also the best wildcard team you can make, along with the usual team selection video and the deadline streams. They'll all be coming very, very soon. And to be honest, in terms of transfers, because of the fact I have 2 players that actually want to start being on my bench, I'm just not entirely sure about making a transfer. I would want to have a Chelsea defender for this game week against West Bromwich Albion, a Marcos Alonso or Rudiger or an Azpilicueta, but I just don't see it being possible because I'm pretty happy with the defence I have right now, and benching Stones, despite it being against Leicester, it just makes me feel uneasy, so not entirely sure about that. And the rest of the players that I do want will just be on the wild card, and they'll come at the right time, because Game Week 31 is going to be a big swing for a lot of these teams like Leeds United, like Spurs, and then you can kind of target Chelsea and other teams which you might not have enough assets of. But thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, smash the like button and subscribe if you're new around here, and share this video around with friends and family and anyone who loves FPL. It will really help out the channel, and we're trying to get to 3,000 subscribers, so any help would be very, very greatly appreciated. And yeah, enjoy the football, the rest of the international break that is coming up, and also the Premier League football that's coming back, and the Champions League. I'll be making more UCL fantasy videos very, very soon. And yeah, just have a great week, and yeah, just keep at it, and don't let FPL or anything else stress you too much, and just enjoy the game, the beautiful game that is football. But thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.